Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Red Parrot channel. I am your host, Mary Ellen. This is an episode of Craft With Me. This Craft With Me is a bit of a catch-up on where I'm at on the Apple journal and possibly some bits and pieces from the hashtag Mass Make March, which I am all over the map on as well. So let's get after it. So, went away and we had sort of the initial plans for the cover of the journal, pardon me, and this, that out of the way, so it has some visual impact. Oh yeah, I can talk about that as well. My goodness, I just got crap everywhere. There we are. So here is the cover. For now, as I think it might end up. I don't know that there is anything else, but let's talk about some of the highlights, I guess. So, the green and the yellows are all eco-dyed material that I did last summer, and so this year, now that I have a channel and I have some people who are interested, we can do that again, and I'll sort of give you the recipes and however to accomplish it. And it's super easy. You need a jar, some vinegar, some dye matter, and something to dye. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. Couldn't be easier, and the results are very satisfying. So that was the first layer. And then I had it in my head that it would be fun to do some crazy quilt stitching. So I did some of that. So it started off on stuff that you can't see now because I've put that all down there, but that was my first seam. And for Textile Thursday, I have something really fun to show everybody, and we can get some more information. And I have a whole thing planned for tomorrow that talks about that we can get information on, what am I saying? Crazy quilts, that's what I want to say, and stop talking. So I did some of that, and it was still super plain. Then I pulled this, I have a whole bunch of these. These are sort of auto bows, B-O-W-S, and I peel them apart and use them. And I think one of the challenges that I have for the Apple journal is the repetition of an apple, but different ways, because a single apple is very simple and I don't have a lot of pictures. So the idea of, I was going to say brands, flavors, species, maybe, I don't know, types, let's use the word types of apples. So Macintosh is one of the kinds of apples, and thus Macintosh is a tartan, and so I am making tartan a legitimate part of this journal. And it's also red and green, which is part of the color palette. So I have it on the front and the back, and I'm trying to sort of make the page whole, but then interesting on both sides. What else did I do? So I have access to, well, here's my little bin of fake flowers and fake leaves. I live by a trash area that is regularly throwing that kind of stuff out, and I have permission from the owners to go and avail myself of whatever is there. And so I do regularly, and there's lots of leaves that I pick up and just tear off so that I have something here. These leaves on this page are quite fun because they have been pressed, and so there is a natural ridge in between here, and I've just sort of stitched in the gully there. This is a felt apple that is just sort of freehand drawn and freehand cut and then stitched, and it is based on one of the apples that I pulled out here. So it's on this apple, and not a lot of precision. I just wanted something that was apple-y. This is some couched sisal, like this stuff. It's just folded in two, very small bit to make a stem. This is part of the 4 items that I can use from the Happy Mail. Buttons. And this here is one of the things that I am particularly pleased and interested about. This is the word apple in Braille, A-P-P-L-E. I got this idea from watching somebody review a quilt show. It might have been the big one that just happened. Anyways, there was somebody who created an entire quilt that brailled the lyrics to a song on the quilt. And I thought that was a fantastic way of expanding the quilt, and for me, the journal, into people that wouldn't necessarily have information about what am I looking at. And so that notion of sensory interest, I think, is fascinating. And so learned a lot. I mean, I learned something about Braille. And so one of them is that there are 6 dots to a panel, and they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and each one of those dots has a number. A is just 1 dot in the first hole, which makes sense because it is the beginning of the alphabet, so it seems to be the simplest. This 3 down and 1 over actually looks like a P. This looks like an L, and this kind of is E-like. And so I can see a lowercase letter in these dots, which I think is really quite interesting. So that's my journal cover. The front part of the journal will look like this. So you'll have that as the front, and then flip it over, and then that will be the back. There's an argument to be said that this should be the front. I'm not gonna cut this and do all the faffing around that would require to do that. But I like this as an introduction to the book that is suggestive, and the back being kind of very literal. And I think it also sort of improves once you fold it over, because the sort of the conceptual is on one side and then the literal is on another. Funny story about this thread here, and it's this thread here. This is like the perfect color thread. It's got brown, it's got that sort of reddy orange, and it's got like a yellow that is kind of greeny as well. I have this much thread left, and for a while there, I thought that I was gonna have to spend all of my budget on replacing this thread, because while I have about 1 billion different colors and multiple copies, multiple packages of the same color, this is the only color that I have of, I think this is DMC 4510, and it's a specialty color. If I had to go and buy it, I think they're $3.49 at Michael's, so I would have to get, you know, my 30% discount or whatever it is that you use to get the price down. I might still, if I don't spend any money by the end of this, I might actually use the money to replace this. I have been curious this whole time, wondering what I'm going to spend the money on, and that it's embroidery floss just kind of amuses me. So we've got front cover done. This, I might sort of do some fun stitching with this along here, and then we are getting ready to put some pages in at that point. So put that aside. A couple more things. This might end up having to be my ties because I can't find anything that is satisfactory otherwise. So the ties might be just that. And this should be long enough. For a tie, yeah, it'd be fine. And it's at least the same color and whatnot. So those are going to be the ties. What else have I been up to? Oh, yes. So recall the little felt ball. I have taken to felting it, and I now have a wonky felted apple. So I've put this little knob in the bottom, and then the center of the knob is the knot for this thread. And then I have a couple of leaves that are felted in, and then this is just knotted. And so I will be able to sort of knot this at some point and then put it wherever. And I also found, this is actually a stitch marker, but would work just perfectly for another dangle. So I have my two, and I reserve the right to switch that up for something. Also, under the banner of working on this journal, pardon my boarding house reach, I have this, which is some felted, not felted, these are pieces of material that have been rolled and glued that are now fabric beads. So they're fairly hard, and I might do a little bit more decorating, maybe some inking, I'm not sure. Some of them I need to fix. What one do I need to fix? I need to fix this one because the edge is coming out, and the more of these that I do, the more I learn. One of them is that you kind of need to have a nice smooth piece of fabric. This is a piece of ribbon, and the edging of the ribbon, it naturally wants to roll so that it's not sort of stacked and making this all like super thick. So there's that. Put that back up there. Oh yes, and I did a couple of the plaids. So these will be used on the spine of the journal as part of I'll do like a five hole spine, and these will be distributed thereabouts. So that is, I think, everything I've been able to get up to. Scanning around, not seeing anything else. So, I think we can probably, I forgot to stop my timer, so I've been baffling on for God knows how long. But we need to start making some things. So now we're at the point where we're making stuff for the journal, is kind of what I'm trying to say. And the first thing that I want to make is a shaker card. So I have some little bits. I have this kids foam core. What else do I need? I might need some of this. These are options. I have some of this. I need my gluey glue. And I'm not sure, do I need anything else? Yes, I do. I need this. I need some cardboard. Okay. Oh, there's one more thing I need. Sorry about that. Somewhere in this pile, somewhere, maybe or maybe not, oh dear. Oh, maybe. Nope, still nothing. Everything is always such a mess when I make things. somewhere. Okay. There, that's what I was looking for. So these are sticker frames. And I think they would be fun to use as a cover for anything that I make like that. Now this frame is super small, but we could cut it up there. And this is also a small. And I also want to, I can't drink that, that's glue. I'd love to try like a very tiny, like a tiny shaker card. And these are all bits and pieces, etc., etc. I think I can't use any of these at the moment. So this was one of the items that I wanted to use. And that's hilarious because that's cat hair. That is also cat hair. There we are. This would be pretty good, I think. This really should be this size. And then we have this. Is there any other ones that we have that are bits? Well, that might be fun just to get rid of the stupid 37. That's an envelope. That might be the right size as well. Okay, so we have some selections. Now then, how did we go about doing this? Step one was figuring out the size. E. So that is, oh, it's too bad I don't have a piece of paper. Fish, fish, fish. Okay, there we are, piece of paper. So the inside of this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 by, if you do 6, okay. And what did we do last time? I think we did a 3/8 of an inch seam. We could do a half. Could we? No, we can't. Because if that's 4.5, that becomes 5.5. And we need something that's smaller. So let's do a third. Okay, let's do it this way. Math is hard. 1, 2, 3. Is that right? That is right. And now we want to go how many down? The inside square is a 6. Inside square is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. This needs to be we can cut that. Yes, we can. Oops. That's the thing with clear things. Can't see them all that well. There. Also, I didn't do the regular announcement of new project, new blade. Okay, put that down. We're back to doing math. So this then is 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5, and 3/4 is right there. And 3/4 is going to be there. And then let's do it and get it on the line. Nope, need it on that line. Wow. All right, there and there. Good enough. Okay, that doesn't go in there, it goes in there. Okay. So now, technically speaking, sorry about the shaking, banged India. You're going to do this. It's 1. It's 2. It's 3. That's 4. There we are. And this should pop out-ish. Just like that. Look at that. There we are. Now this has got a textured side that has got sort of ribbing lines to it, and then a smooth side. The ribbing lines, I'm just not a fan of, so I'm going to put it down that way, I think. Okay. So this seems to be going swimmingly. Oh, well, that's super annoying. That's annoying, and that's annoying. Well, here's one of the things we can do. Put a label on. Get my glue book out. Oh, a programming note for anybody who lives in Ontario. The LCBO has just come out with their early spring food magazine. And it's entirely possible that I will do a flip through-ish of it. Oh, look what I found. I mean, found it literally in my general area. I didn't go out and purchase it. It's very exciting. Oops, 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 oops. Careful, careful. There's that. And that goes down that way. Sure. Let's try it. Here. Okay, so what am I thinking? I am thinking that I want to have something that is not that now. Visually different from this, like not two pieces that are just like blurk and blurk. That says archaeological, but if we, yeah, you know what, that'll be all right. I'm not going to see it all, I don't think. Why would I do that? There. Okay, so there's that. That looks a little better. Have another swig of tea. Okay, so now we do the gluey glue. The gluey glue is the, well, oh, elephant. I feel like I should keep that. What's in the back here? Ooh, exceptional shapes for pasta. Okay, so what are we doing? We're putting glue down. And I need to let that drain to the bottom first. There we are, that should be all right. Now what are we doing? We are trying to get it close to the edge seam here. Not for seeping, but for, oh, see, that's coming out all right. But so that the shaker bits won't get caught. Okay, whew, that is one whiffy glue. Okay. One side, another side, that side, down that way, okay. And we move this over here. Get our picture back. And we are going to flip this over. We are hopefully going to place this correctly. I've just put that there because it has edge over glue and I don't want to stick this to my matte. And I'm using this square. I could use a book, or I could use anything that has a flat surface that you can then sort of press and then evenly distribute, or more evenly distribute the pressure. You could use box tops, box bottoms, whatever is sort of flat that you can press down on. Okay. And a little bit of glue seepage, which is totally okay, because we will do a very good job of letting that dry before we do anything else with it. Now then, step one, done. Oh yeah, I just stuck that. Such a crazy bean. I don't know. So that doesn't fit. I'm hoping this does. 100%. So we are going to do the first cut anyways. Put that over aside, let it dry. Hard enough. There we are. Next thing I need to take off is these little bits. And what I did was I was going to do it right to the edge. I don't know if you can see that particularly well. I don't think you can. Barely better here. There is holes, and I was going to cut it right to the hole, but then I thought, this might be an interesting bit of something for, I don't know, like weaving something in and out of, and then using that as a decorative item. So we're going to try. And I don't think I need to cut any more for a while, because this will fit-ish. Then I will sew, and then I will put on to cardboard. I think when I did this, if I were to do it again, I might slightly color the background. It feels a little white. Stark, very stark. Oh yeah, so I need to pick my sprinklies. I believe that is the technical term for it. So this is my pot of sequins from the dollar store. And these little bits, if you didn't see a recent video where I talk about this, these are called caviar beads. And while I got this whole sort of display from the dollar store, you can get these on Etsy and also on Amazon. They're called caviar beads, and they're apparently used fairly frequently in the nail art world. So, good to know. I'll plunk that one down. This gold would be fun. Can I do 3 colors? Now, I think this is actually confetti, isn't it? Yes, this is some of the nastier stuff. This is okay in my world because it's actually a piece that you can get. Now then. I did a whole pile of sealing. Huh. Okay. And I might not be able to get into this. Because like I say, I did a whole bunch of sealing so that this would never open. Now that I want to open it, oh, this is gonna end in tragedy. Maybe. Or not. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. So that kind of worked. Now what's happening? I feel like these two should not be opened. Now that I have this one opened, I'm generally okay. But I feel like I'm not so sure that this glue is dried yet. So let's put that aside again. And let's work on the other one. So we have this one as an option. It's a wee little option. And I can do this wide. I need to know the size. Oh, here's what I can do. No, I can't. This is 1 1/4, kind of 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. 1 1/4, that is way too big. And that's gonna go crashing to the ground, which I don't want. This would be cute. Yeah. Okay. So what do I want to do? I want the inside. The inside to be 1 3/8. By 1 5/8. Bird just hit the window. That just startled the bejeebers out of me. Wow, okay, we just need to take a rest there. That was a lot. Okay, all right. Hoping you didn't hear it. I always need to make that corner. Whatever the corner is, it's going to be 3/8 by 3/8. Let's do 1.5. One 7/8. Oops. It's always, it's weird. Life is weird. Okay, what am I doing? I'm doing dot to dot. One. There's 2. There's 3. And there's 4. I need 3/8. And I need 3/8. Horseshoes, hand grenades. Wow, that was a very large cut, but that's okay. Not entirely on the square, but we're gonna go with it because if I try too hard, I will start to hurt. But it's good enough. We are not building bridges, we are building journals. One of the kinds of shows that I like to watch on YouTube a lot are mudlarkers and metal detectorists and so forth. They're out sort of searching for history and land and so forth. And a lot of them are also artists. So some of them are taking what they find and they're making jewelry. So sea glass becomes jewelry. Bits and pieces of metal become jewelry and so on and so forth. And one of the things that they quite often do when they get something out of the ground is they look for evidence of the artist's hand. So pottery, for example. Pottery from certain time periods has very clearly the pinch of the potter, and my long-winded way of saying seeing the artist's hand is of additional value. So I think that's also what happens in junk journaling. There is value to see the hand of the artist, and so it doesn't need to be perfect. There we are. Careful, careful. That was almost a disaster. Look at that. Look at that. Scissors? Yep. There. Now what color do I want with this? Now these little roly-doos I think will be perfect. And what other color? There's no light green, there's dark green. Dark green maybe? Let's look at this multicolored one. Yeah, no. There, I think those two will be fine. Okay, so we are in glue drying mode, and I don't think you nor I want to hang out here and just watch glue dry. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to get some of this stuff sorted out, poured and sewn and so forth, and then we'll regroup a short while later, and we will do some more ephemera making, and hopefully that should be my catch up as well on the Mass Make March. So I am going to sign off for now. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share for more videos. Thanks so much. Bye now.